Today, today's been good. Got like 3 workouts in today. Had to make up one from yesterday that I didn't get done for my new programming. So it was a crazy high intensity, heavy workout. Hey, kind of digging it. Talked about fasting, so I'm on like I don't know, hour 12 or 10 or something, somewhere around there. I haven't set it up on my thing yet, but that's going good. And just keep pushing, right? Looking at some new business ventures and kind of seeing what that might look like for my wife and I, and so processing through what some of that may do, and so there's some research into what that looks like. And outside of that, it's good. Today I had posted, "Are your goals really your goals?" Right, and I said, "Your actions will show it." I know there's a lot of people who say they want things, but the way they live doesn't match, right? There's a lot of people who say, they say they want things, but I used to always tell people, man, like your actions and what you say don't meet up. Because the actions that we take in our literature, it says, "Why ask for something before you're ready for it?" And I think a lot of people want things that they have no clue what it takes, A, to get, and B, what it takes to maintain it. Everybody wants lots of money, right? Or to be a millionaire, but do they really know what comes with millionaire lifestyle? Do they really know what it takes to become one through working, right? I mean, I think everybody has this idea that they're going to have this quick fix, or this really quick, ooh, boom, blew up, and all of a sudden now they're a millionaire, and that's not the case, right? Like, in order to get to places that of success require a lot of work. Eric Thomas says the only place success comes before work is in the dictionary, and he's right? Like in the word, because S comes before W, but you can't be successful without doing any of the work, right? And it also says in our literature that addicts want all the reward of hard work without doing any of the labor. Facts, right? Facts right there. Everybody they want the good things, but not have to put in the work to get it. You know what I mean? People always they want to compare their lives to mine. I'm like, this is 20 years of work right here, right? Like, for real. Like, this is 20 years of grinding in order to get what I got. And you just showing up all of a sudden, you ain't going to get it, right? Like, how absurd. How obnoxious that you'd even think that you could do what I do after 20 years of working. You know what I mean? And so, but I get it, right? Like, I always thought that I could attain things really quickly because I didn't realize the amount of work that it took to get to certain places. Like, I remember when I first started weightlifting, I said, I'm going to go to the Olympics, right? I just showed up on the block, right? I just showed up, and I'm like, I want to go to the Olympics. And I had a coach laugh at me, right? And he's like, what do you snatch? What do you clean and jerk? And I told him my number. He's like, how long you been doing this? I told him, he's like, keep coming back. You know what I mean? Basically, he's like, keep coming back. Like, he's like, you don't even know the amount of work that it takes to get to be one of those people who compete in the Olympics. Like, you don't have the faintest idea. For you to say that tells me you don't have the faintest idea. And that's the truth, right? Like, to be one of the best, to represent your country, like, they don't just let anybody go. Like, you have to be the best, right? To be the best requires it. There's a lot of discipline and a lot of effort and a lot of sacrifice that goes into doing those things. And I just wasn't really willing to make, mentally, I tell myself I was willing to make them, but physically, when it came to actually doing, I never did, right? And that's why, I talk about all the time, like, how many times have I lied to myself, right? I told myself that I wanted certain things, but I wasn't really willing to do the work necessary to get there. It sounds good, right? It sounds, good. I want to be a good parent. I want to have really good recovery. I want to be a great speaker. I want to be faithful to my God. And I want, right? Like, all this sound, I'm going to be a good pastor. But am I really putting in the work to get there? That's the question, right? And so, and that's why I say, are your goals really your goals? or your goal is something else, because your actions are really going to actually show you your goals if you stop lying to yourself, if you stop perpetrating a fraud and acting like you want something that you really don't. And I get it, some of us really don't know the amount of work that it takes to get to certain places, right? We just don't know. We've never done it. We've seen it, that people get there, so we think, oh, I could do that too, but never actually asking somebody, what did you have to do to get here, right? And so that's where we are right now, right? Like, I know what I want to do and what I want to get, and I have to find the people who are already doing what I want and asking them, how'd you get here? Asking the question, what did you do? How did you do it? And then decide for myself, am I really willing to do what they did to get where they are? You know what I mean? Like, am I really willing to do it? Because very few people just stumble on the opportunity to make things happen easily. Most people really have to grind hard and make a lot of sacrifices in their life in order to get where they're trying to go. And the question is, are you? Are you really willing to make the sacrifices necessary to get where you're trying to go? Now, it sounds good to say yes. Sounds good. But time will tell, and we'll see what you're really about, right? The proof's in the pudding. It is. You can't lie with results, right? That's why literature says results count in recovery. They do, right? Like, they count. What's your results look like? What kind of fruit you bearing, right? I mean, in all these places that we go to, that those things are said, right? Even scripture says fruit count, right? What kind of fruit do you bear? Because a bad tree can't bear good fruit, and a good tree can't bear bad fruit. So are you a good tree? You're one of those trees that actually does what they say and follows through? Because the evidence will show that, right? Like, the evidence will show if you're really somebody who's about their stuff. I've just come to learn that most people really aren't they're not really about what they say they want to be about. They're about something, but they're not really about what they say. And so I think the sooner we stop lying to ourselves, the better off we're going to be, right? We'll be happier because we won't feel like failures. We won't feel, right? Like, we won't, because we're getting what we truly want because our effort shows it. What's your effort say about you? You know what I mean? Are you somebody people can depend on? Are you reliable? Again, it sounds good to say it, but what do the people around you think, right? Are people calling you when they need something first, or are you the last call? You're the desperation call, right? You're the, oh, man, I really don't want to call him, but I guess I have to, right? Like, are you that guy? Or are you the guy when somebody knows they need something, you're the first person that they reach out to? And so, what are your goals, right? I wrote a bunch of non-negotiables. I wrote a bunch of stuff, and I've come to realize, like, as I've been doing this, not that my goals aren't my goals, but that there's still a lot of things that I have to work through in order to start doing the things that I need to do to get where I'm trying to go. That's the easiest way to say it, right? There's lots of flaws that I have to work through, that once I can start to get over those, things are going to change rapidly. They're just going to happen. But I have to fix the things that I'm doing wrong first, you know? And that's why I keep talking about, like, do you say things that you don't really mean? Like, do you say things that you don't do? Like, how often do you lie to yourself and say, oh, I'm going to do this, and then never do it, right? How many goals have you set that you've never accomplished? And that's why I said, are your goals really your goals? Yeah. This all comes from me being asked that question. Is there anything you've ever done with your whole heart, like 100%, to get where you're trying to go? I haven't. I think some of the things that I said I would do in my life that I haven't done, I would have done if I would have thought about it that way. But I didn't. I wasn't in a position to think about it that way. Nobody had ever said that to me. And today, I have people who I'm surrounded with that say those things to me, right? And then some of this, hey, if you're not really trying to do what we're trying to do, get away from me, right? Like, I get told that too. And so I tell that to people, right? Like, if you ain't trying to go where I'm trying to go and do what I'm trying to do, if you ain't trying to put in the effort I'm putting in or the sacrifice that I take, I ain't got time for this. You know what I mean? Because I'm trying to get somewhere. I'm trying to elevate. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be better than I was yesterday. And There's just some people that can't go along for the ride, unfortunately, because my goals are my goals. I'm not willing to compromise, and I'm not willing to compromise for other people. It's bad enough that I let myself down on a regular basis. Why am I gonna let myself down for other people too? You know what I mean? But I do know one thing, that anything is possible with Jesus. It is. It doesn't mean that he's going to give me everything that I want, but anything that's a part of his will for me is going to happen. It is. And that's why I was talking about yesterday. Like he says, first seek my kingdom and my righteousness, and everything else will be added unto you. First seek these. Get yourself right. Right? Get right with me. Know how to live correctly. And everything else that you're supposed to get will come. Doesn't mean that I'm going to get the desires of my heart and all that other cool stuff that I think I need. I may never be a millionaire, because that might not be God's will for me. It may not be. And I'm going to be okay with that. But it doesn't mean that I don't work to be it, right? Because there's something else on the other side that God has for me. There is. And sometimes it's just me being a better person. So I just want to challenge you guys today, right? Like, is your goal really your goal? Or are you lying to yourself? Right? Ask yourself, are you really willing to put the effort to get it? Have you asked anybody what it took for them to get where they are, who have the goals that you want? Or are you just kind of saying, ooh, that looks cool, I think I want to do it, and never putting any effort for it, right? Never. Because you don't know. So find out and ask yourself. And if it's not, be okay with that. But assess your goals to really be what your effort is really worth. It's fair. You know what I mean? So I just want to let you guys know that God loves you, and so do I. I hope you have a great day.